Hey guys, Ken Scott, Senior, U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with Triple W, U.S. Entry Waiver Services.com, and we get you clear to enter USA if you are deemed inadmissible. So, a quick video today on this story. It's in it's in a paper from England, The Guardian. So let's go down here. Let's get right into it. This video basically title, What Stops You from Entering America? Well, what stops you is if you're basically, generally, if you're deemed inadmissible to America or USA, you're denied entry. You're not allowed in. We had a gentleman call today, and I explained to him, which he's doing the radio show tomorrow. So I explained to him the severity of being denied entry and what they can do to you. So let's look at this story right here. This Australian teen was strip searched and held in U.S. jail for 10 days. That's the Immigration Detention Center after being denied common visa waiver. What this is, the visa waiver, basically, if you're a citizen of one of, what is it, like 20, 25 countries or so, that fall under visa waiver category. What that basically means is that you do not need a visa to enter USA. Waiver waiver here is a bit of a misnomer, but it basically means you do not need a visa to enter the country. So essentially, your visa requirement is waived. So that's the simple way to explain it. And Australia is one of the countries. So it's like Australia, England, um, Germany, Switzerland, etc. Okay, so let's go down here. That's the chapter. He was denied entry. Um, for that reason. It says right here, an Australian teen will travel US for a job interview. See, he went there for a job interview. That right there is a big mistake. It's a big red flag right there. A strip search makes it held in a federal prison for 10 days. Prison, detention center, no matter how you want to slice the pie, basically, he could not leave. So for what it's worth, you can't leave. You can't leave. 8 days confinement to a cell. Yeah, how they travel. 19 travel, never been on a plane before, which I think that's bizarre, but okay. What's going on just 2 days, 8 days. He resisted returning to Australia. And I put the links in the description, and you guys can just read the story. There's some tidbits here I wish to point out to you guys. So Sydney, yada yada. So he wanted to go to the town of Powell, Wyoming, visit a friend, interview for a potential job as a first year mechanic. So if I'm the officer, I'm going to say, well, if you're coming here to interview for a mechanic, how do I know? First of all, it's not allowed. And how do I know you're going to leave if you get the job? Where's your visa? Of course, he had none. Yeah, he had a return flight booked for that. Part's fine. Made the bulk a bit on that amount of money. Cancel, revoke travel, visa waiver, visitor. Yep, no more than 90 days. Holiday or conduct business meetings so long as other entry requirements are met. But that they're going to get him on under 214B and 212-7A. Pulled for interview, yeah, told customs demand, travel US, job interview. It says right here, the visa waiver program requirements state that participants are allowed to consult with business associates and negotiate a contract, but that employment and permanent residence in the US are not permitted. So he violated it right there. Plan to return to the living working part to obtain a visa, yada yada. This is what I was telling you guys. He's told he's inadmissible to the U.S. as you have not overcome the presumption that you are an intended immigrant. That's 214B, Section 214B, under the Immigration Nationality Act. And for the hell of it, let's pull it up. They go here, I'm not going to tell you guys what Immigration Nationality Act means because common sense should step in and you know what it means. Yeah, they got him under 214B. And we know because obviously from doing this work, they haven't previously enforced uh, being a federal officer in Washington State and a former law enforcement officer there. I mean, logically, we would know. I hate doing it this way, though. I like finding it in the book because I hate this online stuff. All right, where's 214B? Did I go in the right chapter? I'm sure I did. Let's go back here. Let's back up. But it is section 214B. That I do know. It should have been. Okay. Get this thing out of the way. Can't. Uh, it's so hard to find the stuff on a computer like this. I'm still old school with the book, the actual book on your desk. Let's talk about L1s. Unless I'm missing it, it was right here in front of me all this time. There it is, 214B. Presumption of intending written waiver. Any alien other than non-immigrant waiver described subsection L or B of non-immigrant swim provision, yada yada, shall be presumed to be an immigrant until he establishes to the satisfaction of the consular officer at the time of application for a visa and the immigration officer at the time of application for admission that he is entitled to a non-immigrant status under section yada yada yada. So it says right here. So this basically this is under the code even for Canadians who are trying to enter. But I mean they can be hit with 212.7A as well. But this is 214B. So this is what they got him under. So it's a bit tricky finding it, but let's see here. Okay, now I need to get there. Let's get back to the story now. So yeah, right. Presumption of intending immigrants. So stated, Ladia living on family the call. It was horrible. The consul couldn't tell us anything. We weren't allowed to speak to him. All consul did say he was detained. We asked for the welfare check. So that's fine. And that's him. You'd think he would have did his due diligence before he hopped on the plane, but whatever. Initially told being a detention center for 2 days, put back on flight to Sydney, providing two parents for prison, deliver food, water. User hand. I got a bulk on that. I didn't eat for 8 days straight. Phone call, consulate, yada yada, hearing, immigration officers. Yeah, see, what he did was he told CBP he did not want to turn to Australia and had a minor, quote unquote, minor fear about doing so. We described fear of wasting money on tickets. That's BS right there. Experience a lot of stress. I'll be lectured by our own family. So there's a provision if you, under the code where you say that it says if you have a fear of returning to your home country, then there's certain procedures they can go through. So he tried to play that game, but didn't fly. That was a misinterpreted with Carter Tie and stress for 10 years, saying he did not want to return home. Yeah, see, he's tap dancing around his words with these officers. And he's trying to blame them. I don't know whether the immigration officer having a bad day, but they automatically clamped down on him. She said, I think his father's going to do. He brought this on himself, but not doing his due diligence and trying to play the word game with these officers at CBP. So, not that I'm on their side, but he's trying to typical Gen Z, and not trying to pick on the Gen Z, but typical Gen Z trying to deflect the blame when the blame is yourself, buddy, because you voluntarily got on that aircraft. You failed to do your due diligence to see exactly what the rules were, or research. Did you even contact the U.S. consulate in Sydney or Melbourne and ask any questions? What kind of due diligence did you do before you got on that aircraft? So this is all on you, buddy. The population still can affect his airports on immigration board and just fair phone. Yeah, yeah. I I don't know about this part. Plan to return to the U.S. on a better flight with better paperwork. I don't know if they gave him a deportation ban or just a simple denied entry. He might have gotten an expedited removal and a ban. So the story doesn't really say. Most says he's really have somebody. He's home safe now. I just read today. He says he's going back. Well, mom, your son has, and you can't do it and hold his hand. He's got to do his GD, and I can't say what I want to say. He's got to do his GD due diligence himself to make sure he will be fine at the border. You can't hold his hand because where does it end? Are you gonna wipe his nose? You're gonna change his diapers. You're gonna wash his underwear even when he's almost 50 years old. I mean, he's gonna have to grow up and suck it up. And I'm not trying to be too hard on him because, but we get so sick and tired of these people blaming the system for the fact that they fail to do their own due diligence. You just can't do that and say blame the government. Well, you voluntarily got on that aircraft, buddy, without doing your due diligence. Darren Previously asked whether Canadians or Australians deported are failing and satisfied. I remember this bird. Says I'm wondering if he was actually deported, and if he was, then he's got more problems to deal with. Because I'm wondering if they revoked his visa waiver. His story does not say if they revoked his visa waiver or not, because quite often what happens is they revoke your visa waiver, which means you have to get a visa from the U.S. consulate or U.S. embassy there, and the embassy officer can deny your visa. So it doesn't really the story doesn't really give everything. But people don't. Some of you guys don't get that when you cross that border, dealing with USA customs or whatever, it's a pretty serious thing, even with a waiver, even applying for waiver. Stuff's not to be taken lightly. This is no joke. Not going to end up like him. So you can't screw around with this stuff with these officers, these officials, and tied into you guys also cheaping out these discount waiver companies, and you get screwed over. And this is what happens. Gentleman spoke to today, which we're going to do the episode tomorrow. He got bent over the table by a discount waiver company, and I will leave it up to him to mention the name if he so chooses. But they're trying to use the BS story about the get a pardon, you don't need a waiver, etc., which that's complete BS as well. And we're gonna have to do a video on that topic because you guys, some of you guys don't get it. Some of you guys do, but we'll go more into detail. That's the bird that had Clint was asking. She had an abortion, but she's got. I love her red hair though. I love red and blonde hair. So anyway, so just a quick video. So Ken Scott, Senior, U.S. Immigration Law Intelligence Analyst with USEntryWaiverServices.com. And remember, we resolve all of your border crossing issues. So, our number is 888-908-3841 or 604-562-8140. All right, guys, this is September 4th, 2022, and tomorrow is Labor Day, and here in good old Surrey, BC. And in the words of my Vulcan colleague, live long and prosper. Why you should be denied entry to that country. So, if you're denied entry to the United States for criminality, maybe, at a bar fight, or maybe you were accused of, I don't know, it's okay. You didn't do it. This is what you want to do. You may need a U.S. entry waiver. You may, or you may not. If you do, you want to use sendittoken.com. Sendittoken.com. And once you use sendittoken.com, we can get you cleared to enter the United States. Does not matter what your conviction is, whether it's for or
nothing is impossible.
Why? Because we're there when you need us.
Sendittoken.com. I gotta tell you, folks, wait till Hulk Hogan comes out here. The roof is gonna come off the Bell Center here in Montreal. As the anticipation builds, you can feel it. The legendary Hulk Hogan is a heartbeat away